Welcome back. Today we'll be reviewing the latest offering from Wuben, their X4. Big thanks to Wuben for sending this over for review. Though this device was available for purchase via Kickstarter, it just had its retail release. Building on the amazing success they've had with the G5 and the X2, this can be seen like the next evolution or bigger brother of them. I've had this one in my hands for a couple of months now, and I can say it's quite an interesting entry to the space. The X4 is unique as it has a flat wedge-style light with RGB, a replaceable 18650 cell, and much more. All of this will set you back $49.99 currently, and comes in your choice of the gray colorway you see here, black or white. As always, I'll have some links to purchase in the description below. While I usually do an unbox as part of my review, since I got this pre-production, I can't really do the unbox portion justice. If you'd like to see a great unbox, I'd recommend checking out this quick ASMR video from James Daly. I'll have a link for the video in the description below as well. Beyond the X4 itself, it comes with a lanyard, USB A to C charging cable, manual, and the 18650 cell. For a quick size comparison, here it is next to the X1 and the X3. The X4 measures in at 3.77 inches tall by 1.47 inches wide by just over an inch thick, and weighs in at only 5 ounces with the battery. Within that relatively small package, you get a light capable of a maximum output of 1500 lumens over 250 meters at an intensity of 10,506 candela. All of that is via X4's 4 primary LEDs that cover both throw and flood at the same time. There's a primary spot, primary flood that's dimpled, and 2 LEDs that are along for the ride. With the battery removed, you could see this light is a pretty ingenious design, as Wuben did a great job shoving all the electronics in a package just slightly larger than the cell itself. The X4 also features an impressive IP68 ingress protection rating against dust and water, along with a 1 meter drop rating. Wuben touts this light's ability for its hands-free with these 3 words: snap, clip, stand. Snap for the very strong magnet integrated into the tail, clip for the pocket clip, which I'll get into more at the end of this video, and stand, as this light, beyond being magnetic, is well designed to easily tail stand. I also have to mention the tail switch has an interesting design and operation that works rather well. That said, I'm not the biggest fan of the UI. Basically, there's a side switch, tail switch, rotary dial, and mode selector. The mode selection goes from lock to side emitter to front emitters, and finally to moonlight mode, which also reveals the built-in USB-C charge port. Let's start with the tail switch, as that is rather straightforward. With the selector and moonlight, the tail switch will activate the moonlight mode, which is a bit brighter than moonlight, but we'll get into that later. In side or front emitter mode, a single click will activate a momentary turbo, and a double click will activate strobe. With the selector on moonlight, the side switch only turns the light on and off at its 5 lumen moonlight mode. With the selector on front emitters, the side switch will turn the light on at whatever brightness it was last, and then you can use the rotary dial to step between the various brightness levels. While I was under the impression it was stepless dimming, you'll notice that there are little clicks while spinning the dial, which is what switches between the different stepped brightness levels. While on, double click to activate turbo, and double clicking again will revert back to the previous level. With the selector on side emitters, if you press the side button, you'll get into white light, and you could use the rotary dial again to cycle between power levels. With the side emitter on, you could hold the side switch and it'll change to RGB mode. While in RGB mode, rotating the dial will change between 7 different color options. While in RGB mode, you could press and hold to get back to white, or you could double click to start flashing at the color you've selected. While off, you can double click and get into the various signaling modes that flashes between 2 colors. You can continue to cycle between the color options of red and yellow, red and blue, or red and green. A single click of the side switch will get you back to off. All of this brings us back to the ultimate question: would I buy the Wuben X4 again? Yes, if I didn't have any other flashlights. I feel like this is a great value for money. That said, if you're buying this as an enthusiast, you may not be thrilled. Some of the things I'd love to see would be a high CRI warm white primary emitters. I also complain about the user interface and operation, but if I didn't have any other lights, I wouldn't have anything to compare it to. However, since I have a ton of other lights, there are several other interfaces I'm a much bigger fan of, though it is far from the worst I've used. I'm also not a fan of the emitter up not so deep carry clip. However, you can remove it, and it is MOLLE compatible. One thing that may only be an issue on mine, as it is not the retail release model, is the fact that the battery door lock is hard to open. Easy enough to switch back to lock, but I almost basically need a tool to unlock the latch. The last thing that let me down a bit was the rotary dial doesn't do stepless ramping. These are all rather minor issues, and again, if this was my first foray into premium flashlights, I think I would be beyond thrilled with what you get for $50. Thanks again to Wuben for sending this over for review, and thank you for watching.